What is going on? We got a great show tonight. We're bringing back the Armchair Fantasy Roulette. If you watched our show last year, you know we did that all the time. Random topics in the roulette wheel. Of course, we always have a great nonsense draft for you. You won't want to miss that. And of course, we got the forgotten fantasy players. So stay tuned.
Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah.
What is going on, and welcome to episode 419 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I'm your host, of course, Jeff Lambert. You can follow me on Twitter at JeffLambert77. We're here every Wednesday night on the GoingFor2 Live Podcast Network and syndicated in all major podcast networks. I'm here as always with my co-host, Mr. Ryan Searfoss. What's up, Ryan?
I'm not much, man. Glad we're competing with some other great shows tonight, and maybe someone will stop in and say hi. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool. If you hadn't heard, Scott Fish is supposedly releasing some of the Scott Fish Bowl scoring tonight, and he is on at the exact time that we are. But hopefully some people still tune in tonight and check us out.
I plan on ruining our guest night with the fantasy
forgotten
player tonight for the third time in a row.
It's only been, I was gonna say, how many times where you're like one shot it and
2 for 2. You know what? Third time's the charm for you. You might stop me this time.
I got a good one, and I was already telling Jeff the first clue. You're like, it's gonna be good.
Gonna be good.
It took me 2 last week.
It took
me 2 back.
Yep, it did.
Yeah.
First, that voice y'all hear is Seth Keller. He is the data guy over at Fantasy Face Off. You can follow him on Twitter at the @home dad. What's up, Seth, man?
Man, just chilling. Trying to get into a few more data things going on right now. We got a fun little thing going on with where wide receivers are kind of getting their snaps and what formations. Messing around with that right now. Hopefully going to get that out soon. Really is, and some people are going to hate this, really is my reason why I've always been a little bit hesitant on Jayden Reed, where people are like, he needs to be way up there. Fun fact, he only plays in 3 wide receiver sets. Like 90 something, something percent of his plays are in 3 wide receiver sets. I mean, he produces out of them. But when you think about like other big name guys, your other wide receiver ones out there, they're running in 2 wide receiver sets. You know, and Jayden Reed has like I think it went up last year. I think it went up to like 3% of his snaps came in anything other than like 3 wide sets. So fun little things, trying to get going with it. But
what happens if you have 5 wide receiver twos?
I mean, yeah. And the one thing that like what I don't have, because it would take like watching all of the film, and I mean Jeff and I were just chatting before the show about like doing stuff with our kids and having things like outside of fantasy stuff, which I know is almost weird to talk about on a fantasy show, but like having kids and stuff like that, I can't go through and watch all the film. No. But like one of the things is like Jayden Reed does line up a lot of times maybe not a lot of times, but does line up in the backfield sometimes as a running back. And then the Green Bay runs them out of some of those running back like placements, which my data doesn't collect that. It just says how many wide receivers are on the field when that ball is snapped. It's not where they are on the field.
Yeah.
So, but good good additional data point to people that are just going through and going, well, he's got lots of fantasy points.
That's all that matters.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be good.
Got to be good. And going to be great again.
Absolutely. All right, so tonight we have a new sponsor of the show. Are you tired of long, drawn-out drafts that never end? And it's time to level up with Fast Draft, the fastest way to draft and win real cash. These drafts take less than 5 minutes. You can knock one out during your lunch break or while you're waiting in line for coffee. And right now, we got an exclusive offer for our listeners. Use our promo code GF2 and sign up and get a 100% deposit match up to $50. That's double the cash, double the action. Jump into lightning fast drafts, dominate your opponent, and get paid all in under 5 minutes. Go to fastdraft.com or download the app. Use promo code GF2, that's GF and the number 2, and start drafting. I've done a couple of these drafts already. They are within 5 minutes. If you get in there, it's essentially 6 rounds. You got 4 positions that are actually active positions, and then 2 that'll be on your bench. And it's best ball, and you get points for those four positions. It's positionless, and there's no quarterbacks, so it's all running backs, receivers, and tight ends. So it's a lot of fun, a different spin on best ball. If you're not into those long drafts and take an hour if you're doing a fast draft, and if you're doing one of those 8-hour drafts, it could take you over a week. But yeah, definitely a lot of fun. You should check them out. Again, that promo code is GF2. All right, let's go ahead and get into our nonsense draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, tonight we are drafting fictional masks that when you wear them, you get all of that character's power. Ryan was a little confused on how this works, but let's see if he could figure it out here.
Yeah,
he has the 102. So Seth, you got the 101. So you show him how it's done.
Oh no, I'm gonna confuse him even more. My 101 is gonna be the mask from Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah.
Because you can literally do anything with that mask. It's free range. And how do you not take advantage of unlimited, limitless power with the mask? That's the 101 is the
101. That would have been my 101 too, because you're pretty much unlimited in what you can do with that mask.
And you have all the range for hilarity to ensue as well.
Exactly.
You instantly get a bump in. Yep.
Love it. That's a great choice. All right. So since you took my pick, I thought for sure that one would slide by. I thought y'all would be thinking like Avengers and thinking like superheroes. And I thought I'd be able to pull that one out. But unfortunately, Seth's too smart for that. I'm going to go with the Speed Mask from The Flash. What was that?
That was the 102. We're just skipping that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You are the 102.
It's fine. It's fine. You get the Speed Mask from Flash.
I'll take the Speed Mask from Flash. At the 103, I skipped over Ryan. So Ryan, go ahead and give me your 102.
The Speed Mask from Flash. No, it's masks or helmets, correct?
Mask or helmets, yeah. Anything that covers your face.
Yeah. It's Thor's helmet. I'm gonna be the God of Thunder, God of Lightning, whatever he wants to call himself, depending on the movie.
I mean, Thunder and Rock and Roll, or what was that?
Love and Thunder. Yeah,
Love and Thunder.
That's
not one of his best ones, but okay, it did all right.
He doesn't need the hammer to have the power. He has the power of Thor within him. It might be from the helmet. We don't know.
I love it. All right, so I did skip Ryan. I did want the Speed Mask from The Flash. Obviously,
wanted that.
Speed, time travel, all that good stuff. He can do it all. So I'll take that at the 103. Back to you, Seth, at the 201.
It's super cheesy, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the Captain America old school, like looks like something his mom knitted and just covers his eyes from the first one. I'm gonna go with that one. Get kind of that all American goodness in one shot.
Love it. That's a good choice. All right, Ryan, I won't skip you this time. You got the 202.
I want the Predator's helmet. I'm talking from the 90s movies, not like a Predator. I'm talking the Predator, the Ultimate Hunter, the infrared, just going planet to planet, being the ultimate monster across the world universe.
Love it. All right, so I went with the Flash mask on the first one. This time I'm going to go with I'm going to stick with the Marvel characters here, and I'm going to go with Spider-Man. Obviously, going through the city with your webs and being able to climb on walls and doing all that cool stuff, and the agility and the spider sense and the strength, the whole nine. Spider-Man is one of the coolest comic book characters out there, so I'll go with Spider-Man here at the 203.
Very nice.
All right, Seth, back to you for your final pick at the 301.
I'm going to go with my favorite character, and probably, tied for favorite character from growing up as a kid. And I was from the original, from the X-Men, going with Wolverine. It's again, classic. It's just, how do you not go with the ability to regenerate, the ability to, the little, get the little claws, which, was fun in the Daredevil movie also, with all the different variations of it. But I'm gonna go with one of my childhood favorites, Wolverine.
Nice. I love it. All right, Ryan, your last pick here at the 302.
I mean, it's so easy to pick a superhero, and there's so many that are cool, and they almost all wear masks. Batman, so I could just be rich, is the one that comes to mind, but we're not going that way. We're going for Master Chief's helmet from Halo. It's the ultimate soldier.
Good call.
Just like humanity.
Yes, absolutely. I think you might have won the draft on that one, because I was not even in that range. Love it. All right, I will close this out, and I'm going to have to get at least one Star Wars character in there, and I'm going to go with probably one of the more famous masks, the Darth Vader mask. Having the Force ability, the ability to wield a lightsaber. I'm hoping that people that don't know, his mask is actually painful. That part I don't want. I don't want the painful part of the mask.
Nah, dude, it's the good and the bad. You got to take them both.
The good and the bad.
You got like half a body.
Yeah,
burnt to a crisp.
A couple arms.
You're just constant pain and anger.
Yeah,
that's how you're so strong.
Yeah,
you got to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Take it all.
Your life now sucks.
So Geoff lost the draft in the third round, and Ryan won it. So there we go. That's how it is. And I was that one guy in your draft that just keeps drafting all the 35-year-old players, because he's like, no, I remember that guy. That's he's still playing. Oh, I'll take him. That's
Cap he's basically Derrick Henry. He's 130 years old at this point.
Yep. And
he's more like the 20.
And you're like, how at some point it's got to end, right? And then you're just like, nope, he's gonna take down somebody else now. Yep.
It shows the cold plunges work.
Yep.
All right, that was the nonsense draft. So tonight, as I mentioned at the top, we're bringing back the Armchair Fantasy Roulette.
Let's get ready for Armchair Fantasy Roulette.
All right, the way this works, I loaded up the roulette wheel with a bunch of random topics in different segments, and we're going to be drafting those tonight. Let me pull up the wheel here. Give me 1 second. All right. We'll just spin the wheel. We'll see what pops up, and we'll discuss it. Let me go ahead and hit the spin. All right. It is this or that.
It's time for this or that.
All right. So I'm going to give y'all a couple players and their ADPs, and I want you to tell me which one you prefer at their ADP. We'll start here with the first one. Ryan, we'll go to you. Marvin Harrison Jr., ADP currently is 28 overall, wide receiver 10, versus Ladd McConkey, ADP 50, wide receiver 20. Which of those two do you prefer at cost?
He's 28 right now.
According to DLF's latest Superflex Dynasty rankings.
Man, so I'm fully on Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I think the breakout's coming. I think the ceiling's there. I know it's such an extreme value with Ladd McConkey at 20. But wait, no, Ladd McConkey on ADP is 10.
I got I don't know, Ladd McConkey at ADP 50. You look at Superflex overall.
I'm looking at just wide receivers. He is wide receiver 10 and Marvin Harrison's 13 on May's DLF.
What the heck was I looking at then? You're looking at ADP or rankings?
Startup Dynasty ADP.
All right. Well, I don't know what I have then.
Just answer the question, Ryan. Ladd McConkey or Marvin Harrison Jr.? Which one?
I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. regardless. I think we saw some growing pains there and getting used to it, but he came on later in the season. I think the ceiling's higher as the wide receiver one on a team that passes more, where we can just see that Los Angeles is going more towards run-based offense. You know, they have a great quarterback. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I think we're going to be all very, very pleasantly surprised and upset that we forgot about him this year.
Yeah, I think I'm with you because I think, people downplay his rookie season because he wasn't a top 12 or top 10 or top 5 receiver last year. But if you look historically at rookie receivers, it wasn't that bad of a season. I mean, he still had a really good rookie season. What about you, Seth? Where do you fall on Marvin Harrison versus Ladd McConkey?
I mean, especially if Marvin Harrison is going to be cheaper than Ladd, like that really, pushes it in his direction. But I agree with you, Geoff, that the general perception of Marvin Harrison is making him a steal right now in drafts because he did not immediately catapult into that discussion of top tier wide receiver. And we've become so kind of accustomed to that argument of, well, if they were a rookie and they didn't show out their first year and just smash all sorts of records and just do the most, improbable thing. We've been so kind of pampered by that type of success with a lot of rookie wide receivers over the past few years that you kind of forget that the general trajectory for a wide receiver is they do all right their first year, they do a little sophomore slump, and then that third year they really break out. And yes, that trend is changing a little bit with the new batch of wide receivers, but Marvin Harrison Jr. could definitely be in that kind of trajectory of rookie season was good, sophomore season can be a little bit better. And, if Kyler Murray isn't playing, Call of Duty, every time it releases, and is throwing touchdowns instead, we could see a whole lot more out of them.
Good stuff. I like it.
Double XP weekends. Yeah, I checked super flexes 12 and 13 for them and 33 and 35 overall. So they're like right next to each other.
I went to their rankings. That's where I got their Dynasty Superflex rankings. So I didn't get the ADP. I just looked it up again. They've got
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey 50 overall, wide receiver 20. So I apologize. It's ranked.
They hate Ladd.
Yeah, they must not like that at all. I'll get another one here. I'll go to you this time, Seth. Kyren Williams ranked 51st overall, RB10. Versus Chase Brown, ranked 89th overall, RB18. Which one do you prefer at cost?
Oh, man. I'm going to be contrarian here, I feel like. And I'm going to go with Kyren Williams. And I think there's something to be said for, again, that perception aspect of it, where there is so much just like it's this weird brand of hate on him that's like, but he's not that explosive, but he's not this, but he's not that, but he's not this other thing, but he's not this other thing that I want him to be, but he just keeps being consistently good. And yeah, he's not going to get you, a Devin A. Chain type of, week where he's going to drop 50 points and have, 250-yard, touchdown scampers, right? But he's going to get you a solid output week in and week out. And, I think Chase Brown has a lot of potential, especially, in that Cincinnati offense, which looks like it's going to be in a whole lot of shootouts this year. But most of the time, I'm going to be in that range. I feel like I'm going to be going I'm going to take wide receivers for the high variance plays and their boom weeks, and I'm going to take a running back that I'm going to get a solid floor from versus the kind of the opposite way there. So I'm gonna lean into Kyren Williams there.
I like it. What about you, Ryan? I'll remind you, it's Kyren Williams, ranking 51st, RB10, Chase Brown, ranking 89th, RB18. Which one do you prefer out of those two?
You're again really bad at ADP, but that's okay. And I am a resident Kyren Williams hater, but I agree with Seth. That offense and system is catered to be around the running back. They built, yes, they have a quarterback who's really good and consistently good. They have their superstar wide receiver, but everything runs through the run game and play action and him getting a ton of red zone opportunities, which they just pound the ball in. I think Chase Brown might have some bigger games, but there's going to be higher variance because that team is going to be in a lot of shootouts because they don't believe in defense.
Yeah.
They have two great wide receivers who score when they're close to the red zone and don't go down there. It's not. Chase Brown's going to be a very good value at that spot. I like the receivers who are being drafted around him a little bit more. I like other backs who are getting drafted around him more who are a little bit older. But Kyren Williams is really good, and whether you like him or not, he's a huge part of that offense.
Yeah, I agree with you both 100%. All right, let's head back to the wheel. All right. If I can find my drop.
Breakout or fake out?
Breakout or fake out. I'm going to give y'all some names, and you tell me if they are going to break out this year or if they're a fake out, meaning they're sort of hyped up and not going to be breaking out. So the first one I have on here is a quarterback, Seth. Breakout or fake out, Caleb Williams.
I'm gonna. That's tough because like what is the expectation for him? Like I feel like he's gonna be like okay, but if you're thinking like QB1 type of numbers towards the end of the season, I'm gonna go with that's a fake out.
Let's do top 12. You think he sneaks into the top 12?
I don't think so.
No.
If you said like top 20, maybe top 15, then it's like maybe I see like there being a spot where he drops into that, maybe top 15. I mean, that's only like 3 spots away, but like top, in that top 20 to top 15 range, like I feel confident that he's in there.
If you have Caleb Williams and he's like, let's say quarterback 17, cut the space in half, are you happy with that? If he's your, let's say QB2 on your dynasty team?
Yeah, because on my dynasty team, absolutely, because he's still a young man trying to get accustomed to that Bears offense, which they just did a whole lot of work on. So yeah, I'm a dynasty, absolutely happy for it. Any type of redraft league where it's not a super flex type of league. And maybe super flex because maybe I get them like super cheap.
Yeah.
But any type of redraft, I'm not gonna be super excited for Caleb Williams. I do think he makes strides forward this year, but I'm not drafting him thinking he's gonna pole vault, more kind of, I don't know, obvious quarterbacks that you could put in that top 12 range.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Can we play a game with this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you think he has a better finish than he had last year, fantasy-wise?
Yes.
Okay. You think he'll finish higher?
I mean, I gotta double check now. What was his fantasy finish from last year?
Okay, we're ready to keep going. I'm gonna name a couple names.
Okay.
Who would you rather have for this year coming up? Caleb Williams or Sam Darnold? Remember, he's in Seattle.
He is in Seattle now, but they also just moved off of DK Metcalf, and so, but he still has JSN.
That's it.
I feel like those two are really close together. Like I would put those guys like in a tier, kind of together. There's a lot of unknowns there where I could see both of them exceeding expectations.
Caleb Williams or Geno Smith?
it's like the same thing because now he's in Las Vegas. I would say Caleb Williams over Geno Smith.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel like Las Vegas is kind of a.
How about Brock Purdy?
I'd go Brock Purdy over. Yeah, I'd go Brock Purdy over Caleb Williams.
Jeff, where are you at with that? Even with rushing upside.
I'm with Brock Purdy over Caleb Williams still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams finished as QB 16 last year.
Okay.
We just named QB 9, QB 13, QB 14. If we throwing QB 15, that's Aaron Rodgers.
So
Chiefs are looking like more and more of a run-heavy offense.
Mm-hmm.
who were the bottom 3 in the top 12?
In the top 12, Sam Darnold, Tyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. So I went 4.
See, well, let's
get out of here with Bryce Young.
Let's get your thoughts, Brian. Breakout or fake out? Are you going breakout here for Caleb?
I think breakout because his biggest issues last year were getting sacked, and they completely redid the entire redid the entire interior offense.
Redone did it.
They gave Thuney a ton of money. I mean, they got themselves a first-round tight end. Everything another second-round wide receiver. Everything they did was to make his life easier. They brought in an offensive coordinator, or the head coach who's offensive-minded, and Ben Johnson, who knows how to get the ball out of the hands quickly, get it to playmakers' hands. He has guys who can run after the catch and make plays. He has a running back who can catch the ball, and we saw what they can do.
Did we lose Ryan?
It's talent-wise.
Oh, there he is.
He's effective in the passing game.
Ryan, you're cutting in and out. I don't know if you can hear us or not.
So I'm gonna ask a follow-up to Ryan's question then, right? Because they really have put in a lot of work on that whole offensive side of the ball, right? The one spot that they kind of left open was the running back spot. So DeAndre Swift last year, and this is I'm just looking at one of my sleeper leagues real quick because I have it quick on my phone. DeAndre Swift finishes the running back 19 last year.
Mm-hmm. Does
he finish better or worse? I'm going to throw the breakout, fake out impromptu to you, Jeff. Is DeAndre Swift going to break out and jump into like that top 15 range, or is he going to slide backwards this year?
I think he's sliding back again, honestly. I think, I kind of saw the writing on the wall when, it was Detroit, and then it was Philly, and then it was Chicago. There's something that and then last year he started off hot, and then he fell off towards the end of the season. And it seems to be his kind of thing. He did the same thing in Philly. He started off hot, and he fell off towards the end of the season. And I don't know what it is, if it's conditioning. I don't know if maybe he's not picking up the playbook, enough, if he's not picking up his blocks. Whatever the case may be, it seems to be at the end of the season, the teams are sort of out on him. And there was a bunch of talk about the Bears drafting. They didn't, but they talked about drafting another running back to replace him. So it scares me a little bit if I'm a Swift owner for sure.
And they did get, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Kyle Monaghy.
Yes.
Monaghy.
Fifth round pick,
but I mean, he was a seventh round pick. Yeah. So like they didn't really draft anybody to fully replace Swift there. But I think to Ryan's point of rehauling that offense, we just totally did our own breakout, fake out, impromptu wise, because
we lost you for a second there.
Ryan's over there playing Halo while doing the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but quickly they added a ton of weapons. At first round tight end, second round receiver, improved offensive line. They did all the right things for their quarterback to succeed with an offensive minded head coach who a year ago everybody said he was a genius. So we're gonna see. Yep. And again, rushing upside quarterback, it gives you fantasy value.
Yep. All right, let's do one more breakout or fake out, and I'll go to you first, Ryan, this time. Breakout or fake out Ricky Pearsall. Of course, they've moved on from Debo, but they've lost some pieces in the offense in general. We don't know the health of Christian McCaffrey, yada yada yada. What are your thoughts on Ricky Pearsall? And we'll go top 24 for the receivers here.
Top 24?
Top 24. You think he's a top 24 receiver?
No. So, is that you going to be healthy by the time the season starts, Jeff?
It's debatable, but it seems to be leaning towards no. I don't think
Okay.
I think he'll probably go on the PUP list or whatever it is for the beginning of the season. Is my thought.
Okay. Will McCaffrey be there by week 1?
Yes, he will be. He's already doing his.
So McCaffrey is still the offense.
Yep.
And they seem to really go Juwan Jennings at the end of the year last year, and when he was the man there. I think only one receiver can be a top 24 receiver in that offense the way it's set up at this moment.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be Jennings over Pearsall. I love Pearsall coming out, but I'm not feeling him for that role in that offense this time.
What about you, Seth? Where do you fall on Ricky Pearsall? Top 24.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I don't see him in that top 24. I see him taking another step forward. I see, kind of to Ryan's point about there only being one wide receiver, top 24 wide receiver there. And to me, it's more like George Kittle is that kind of,
about him.
Yeah, like he's their number one offensive kind of weapon outside of Christian McCaffrey. And I'm under the belief that if McCaffrey's healthy this year, he's going to be able to do what he's done in the past. He's had these type of seasons where he's been absolutely phenomenal. He gets hurt. He's not able to do anything during the season. Then he comes back and he's able to kind of get right back to phenomenal. So until we hit that point with him where he's not phenomenal, I'm going to keep believing that he's going to bounce back to that phenomenal piece. Kind of like the earlier Derrick Henry point of like, you kind of just keep going. Well, at some point the train ride's going to end, right? But we're here, choo choo. Like, let's go. Like, let's keep it rolling. And I'm gonna stay there with CMC also. So.
Yeah, I think.
Where did we get top 24 at? Is that just number you arbitrarily picked?
I just pulled it out of my head. Yeah, I just pulled it out of my head.
Okay.
that would be considered a breakout. Like, you think top 36 is better?
I think top 36 is a breakout for him.
Yeah.
And I could kind of get over. There's top 24 receivers. There's so many good wide receivers right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Like getting in the top 24 is.
So where would you put him? If you had to pick right now? Like, where would you put him?
Like, where would I draft him?
Like, where would you think that he would end the season if you had to pick, a position right now? Like top 30, top 35,
top 40, maybe top 40, between like 35 and 40. If you look at just ADP wide receivers in that range, it's crazy. Like, you got still like Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Courtland Sutton in those 30 ranges. Yeah. You know how hard it is to crack that?
Yeah.
There's so many good wide receivers.
Yeah, top 36 would probably be more of a breakout for him.
I'd be stoked. If I was you and he made top 36, I'd be stoked. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, let's head back to the wheel. All right, this is the tweet. It is from Sal Vitri on Twitter at SalVitriDFS. He's talking about Garrett Wilson. He says Adams is now gone. The Jets replaced him with Josh Reynolds and a 4th-round rookie. Wilson's about to see everything in this offense, and he's reunited with his college QB in Justin Fields. Just your overall thoughts on Garrett Wilson this year, Ryan, and how do you feel? And do you think these things he's talking about here as far as his college QB and them not having another receiver there helps him or hurts him?
My heart wants to be true. Like, I love Garrett Wilson. I love the player. I love the idea of Garrett Wilson. I hate the idea of the Jets in general. I don't think I know Josh Reynolds is kind of not as number 2, so is Allen Lazard. But they still have a really solid run game. And between Fields' rushing ability and Breece Hall and Braylon Allen's ties, like, they're still going to have a harder rush game. They'll still kind of open things up a little bit for him. I think he can, and he's still going to see 130, 140 targets. there's a lot of opportunity there for him to get the ball. It could be ugly, it could be inefficient, but I think he can produce as a wide receiver, low end wide receiver one with volume.
Yeah, good stuff. What about you, Seth? Where do you fall with Garrett Wilson this year?
I hate the fact that Ryan and I are agreeing so much because it really is like I love the idea and I want Garrett Wilson to be good, but good God, can they get him a actual quarterback? Like, and
it's the Jets though. That's the issue.
it's very Jets, and it is one of these things where we're never going to see how good Garrett Wilson actually is because we'll never be able to see him with a truly elite talent at wide receiver, at quarterback, throwing him the ball. And we do see some of the eliteness that he has when he's making these absolutely asinine catches because the throw is so fucking bad that like you're like, oh my God, like I could have thrown a duck that terrible and hit a defender, but then he plucks it off the back of the defender's shoulder pad with one hand falling out of bounds. Like, you know, stuff like that. It shows just the incredible ability the guy has. They just don't make anything easy for him, and for that reason, like I would love to be able to see what has Justin Fields been able to produce for his wide receivers.
I actually have that here. I was about to throw that out there.
Yeah,
it's a ray of sunshine. You know when DJ Moore's best season was? With Justin Fields, 96 catches, 1364, and 8 touchdowns.
Okay. Was that all with Justin Fields, or was that just the same year?
That was 2023. Let's see.
Because wasn't Justin Fields like in and out of the lineup in a couple of the years there? Yeah. Like
he was injured for a couple of
Justin Fields played 13 games that year.
Okay, so
most of them.
Yep.
I was is that like the Joe Flacco time? Was that Joe? No. Who was it that it wasn't Joe. Joe Flacco was just the immediate name.
It was
comes in and just slings it.
It was Tyson Bignett.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
So it was mostly
there's hope.
There's hope. So there is hope. Okay. And that's my thing is I just man, could you imagine him on an offense with just a superior level quarterback? Like
it'd be amazing.
Put him on like young Aaron Rodgers, not old.
Yeah,
you know, can't move in the pocket Aaron Rodgers. Put him like with like Christ, any of those top guys. Bring him to the Bills, bring him to the Ravens, bring him to the Christ. We just talked about. I didn't even take Brock Purdy at this point. Like just like somebody competent. And I feel like I'm really poo-pooing all over Justin Fields, but like fantasy-wise, Justin Fields is fine. He just really limits the offense from what I've seen. When I've looked at Justin Fields as quarterback, they've done the least amount of passing with him as quarterback. I used to do this thing of looking at the offensive snaps and like what type of plays were run out of it. And the Bears did more runs than like any other team by a huge margin.
Yeah.
And it was when Justin Fields was the quarterback. And it makes me real nervous about that guy.
Fair enough. All right. I think we got time for maybe one or two more topics. Let's go ahead and hit the wheel.
And now it's Fact or Cap.
All right, Fact or Cap for us old guys. Fact or fiction, essentially. Fact or Cap is the cool hip way to say it.
I don't know why you're trying to be hip. You're closer to throwing out your hip than being hip. Like
I'm closer to a hip replacement for sure than I am to being hip. I'll take that one. All right, I got three things here that I've kind of searched throughout the internet to find these three quote unquote factor caps. You gonna tell me which one you think it is? We'll go to you first, Seth, on this one. JJ McCarthy has more fantasy points at the end of the season than Sam Darnold. Factor cap.
We're gonna go fact because he has Justin Jefferson inflating his numbers.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage for sure. What about you, Ryan? Where do you fall with that one?
Fact. JJ McCarthy's a stud, dude.
I got to find things that y'all disagree on a little bit more.
Yeah, I love JJ McCarthy. I enjoyed him. I like him in that draft class. He also thinks he's athletic and will run a little bit more than people think he will. And like I said, he's great receivers, great offense.
See, here's the mild disagreement. There is I don't think this separation, like it sounds like Ryan's seeing this as like JJ's gonna blow Sam out of the water, and I don't see it being that. I don't see it being that far apart when we look at it at the end of the year. Mild separation.
Mild separation. Fair enough.
Are you going to say JJ McCarthy or Caleb Williams? Seth. While we're there. We're just going back. We're going to keep going back to it.
All right, do the next factor cap. Let me think about that one real quick.
All right, factor cap, Seth. Cooper Kupp is no longer startable in a 12-team league, and I don't mean like startable like you put him in your flex every once in a while. I mean he's your in and out. I mean he's your in your lineup the whole year.
I'm gonna go with no, and unless you deal with some real bad like injury issues, I'm gonna go with no. Like he's flex. He's flexy at this point. Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? Factor cap. Cooper Kupp is no longer startable in a 12-team league.
I think startable is all relevant, and depending on how the league setup is, I don't view him the way I once viewed him. He's older. He's a little beat up. He doesn't have Matt Stafford, who just pummels the slot. Also, JSN plays a lot of slot.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Can we get the soundbite of that one? Because that is a choice phrase right there.
Yes, I'll make sure to clip that one all over TikTok.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give that a hole. But
Seth, let's go back and revisit that McCarthy or Caleb Williams. You got an answer now?
I think
this is the perfect transition player.
I think it might be JJ, and again, I think it really is. I think it's more the float. I think it's more that Justin Jefferson floats him a little bit more than the Bears offense does, and maybe who is it? Ben Johnson, right? Isn't that who came in for them?
Yeah.
Like maybe he just completely like revamps it, and he really is that genius that everybody wants him to be. Maybe that happens, and Caleb takes a massive step forward. But I feel like Justin Jefferson's just raw ability makes it so quarterback friendly. When you have a receiver that can do what he does, it's a game changer.
Agreed. All right, we got time for one more here. Let's hit the wheel one more time.
Who would you kiss, marry, or kill?
All right, kiss, marry, kill. This is a new segment that I came up with. So essentially, I'm going to give you three names. You got to kiss, marry, kill. Kiss means that you want them in the short term. They're just a short-term player that you're just going to, maybe for this year. Marry is the player that you're going to be all in on, that you're going to, keep for, the next couple of years. And then kill is the one that you're out completely on. You gotta drop him or move away from him, trade him away. And we'll go with we got three positional groups here, Ryan. We'll go to the first one. 3 receivers: Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, or DJ Moore. Kiss, marry, kill.
Oh, wow, this is all gross.
Really hammering the Bears tonight.
So you said DJ Moore,
DK
Metcalf,
and Jalen Waddle.
Oh God, I don't like this one. Pass. Kill all three. I am going to kiss DJ Moore. I think he's more of a short-term option. I think he'll do well there. Marry DK Metcalf because one day they might get a quarterback, and we've seen it. And kill Jalen Waddle because it's just he's so hurt all the time. His quarterback always has concussion. I don't see them moving on from that in the long term. I just don't know what Miami's plan is, and I don't know if they know what to do with him at this point. I wish it was the complete opposite, but that's bad. I feel like we need to rename this.
Why? Because you don't want to be caught saying you're going to kiss DK Metcalf or DJ Moore.
It's just weird. It's just I think this needs to be reworded just a little bit. It's a little bit weird.
Fair enough. All right, Seth, I'm gonna give you another one. I'll give you running backs. Kiss, marry, kill Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, or Chase Brown.
All right, so we have Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, and Chase Brown. All right. Oh man, that is. So the hardest part of this is all three of them have something that's like worthwhile there. All right, we're gonna marry. All right, we're gonna stay on brand here. We're gonna marry Kyron Williams because I was talking about him earlier in the show. I think that offense is just kind of designed to be kind of solid through that, right? And then we're gonna kiss Chase Brown because I think the potential upside that he has in any given week, but I don't feel confident that he is going to be their long-term type of play. Where Kyron, yes, they've already drafted players around him. So there's not, you're not exuding with confidence there, but it does seem like if that offense stays kind of the way it's going, he should be fine there. Chase Brown has the potential to have so many big plays. I like that for right now. Do I see him having a long Bengals career? Not necessarily. And that means that I'm killing Kenneth Walker, which I feel like is I really like Kenneth Walker for this year though, but I feel like he's not going to put up the explosive numbers that I feel like you can get out of Chase Brown this year, which it feels I don't know. Maybe I'm too promiscuous. I want to kind of all of them are kissable. In some way, shape, or form, which to Ryan's point just sounds even more awkward at this point.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever I'm to trade, keep cut.
Yeah. That's not quite the same thing, right? Because you keeping and trading. This is like
start bench cut.
All these guys except for one.
Start bench cut.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll try to rename it. I'm gonna do one more here. I'll go to both of y'all on this one. We'll do one of you each. We'll go to you first, Ryan. This is a quarterback one. Kiss, marry, kill Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, or Baker Mayfield.
So marry Baker Mayfield. Baker's the man, and it's just on vibes. But they have he has a ton of weapons. He slings the ball. They hate defense. It's gonna be good for a good time. I guess Dak. I like the weapons there a lot more than I did a month ago. And kill Trevor Lawrence because they don't know what the hell they're doing in Jacksonville. That team is an absolute mess, and they're ruining his career. I think he's the most talented, and I wish he was the one I was keeping. But organizations can ruin talent, and they're showing it.
Fair enough. What about you, Seth? Kiss, marry, kill. Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield.
I mean, honestly, that was exactly the way that it first went in my head as well. But I just it's exactly the same thing. Like the Cowboys have all of the weapons there that they should be able to perform. Dak, if he can stay healthy, they don't want to run the ball in Dallas. It drives me absolutely knucking futz every Sunday to watch them not run the ball on downs where it's like just give it to him. If he picks up 3 yards, I don't care. I just want 3 yards. I don't want I don't want another 3rd and 10 because you threw 2 incompletions on the first 2 plays. Can we just make it 2 and 7? I'm like, that's okay. That's okay to do in football, to be at 2 and 7. Not record, but like 2nd down and 7 yards to go. But yeah, I feel the same way. And same thing, I feel bad for like Brian Thomas, and just like knowing again, like he will be, but it's very similar to like the Garrett Wilson thing, where it's like,
could be better.
Imagine what he could be able to, what level he could be able to perform to if he had competent quarterback play there.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, let's get to our final segment of the night.
Get ready for GoingFor2.com's Forgotten Fantasy Player of the Week.
All right, I got to set this one up. So Seth came on. It's been a little over a year now, and had his forgotten fantasy player. Gave us one hint, and Ryan guessed his player immediately. He came on maybe 6 months later, and I set it up, and I was like, yeah, Ryan got it on one shot last time, and I went through the whole spiel, and sure enough, he got it on one shot again.
He didn't get the clue out. I just saw the Dallas Cowboys poster, and I guessed the player and was right.
Yeah.
It was Marion Barber.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and then the other one was my kids' football team has a similar enough logo. Was that one? That was Marion Barber's college, I think, right? Wasn't that the one? Was because it was like the M, right? Wasn't that the Marion Barber one? But
one of them was Marion Barber for sure. I do remember that. I can't remember what the other one was though.
All right,
yeah,
so
Marion Barber was just a Cowboy saying he was awesome.
Yeah.
This one, not a Cowboy. There you go. There's your first clue.
That's our first clue. Not a Cowboy. So we got a lot of people to choose from. Ryan, just throw a name out, and maybe you'll land on it.
Lorenzo Neal.
No.
Going to fullback.
Christian Okoye.
No. Right position group at running back, but he's from the same hometown that I'm from.
Oh.
I thought where you're from.
So Albany, New York.
Albany, New York. I honestly would have no idea.
You Googling players from Albany, New York right now?
Hands are up, dude.
Hands up.
Hands are up.
All right, give us some more.
He had 1 year as a top 12 in PPR scoring running back.
Just one season as a top 12.
One season as a top 12 running back. And then the very next season, he moved teams.
All right. I don't know. I still need more. Ryan, you got any guesses?
No, but I'm getting there. This is a good one. These are like obscure facts. I like this.
Rashad Mendenhall. That's the name that popped in my head.
Nope. We're in the East though. That's good. You guys are getting geographically close because he's only played on the East Coast.
All right.
Like the teams he played for. He's played for 3 teams that have all been on the East Coast.
All right. Give us another hint.
That was the other hint. He's played for 3 teams and they're all on the East Coast. He played from he played up until 2020, and his best year was in 2017.
2017.
And I
It wasn't
remember
Garrett Blunt, was it?
no, but you're getting a whole lot closer with teams.
Oh, well, that's too old. I was gonna say Corey Davis.
Nope, still real close with team though again.
So let's see.
Do you want the team?
As a Patriot.
He is his number one year was with the Patriots.
Patriots. Shane Vereen.
Nope. Later
than Shane Vereen.
And it wasn't Danny Woodhead because he said all teams from the East Coast.
And then he went. This is what's going to be the giveaway. And then he went to Tennessee, and that's when his career.
Oh, what's the little scat back?
Not James White.
No. Oh, before that, I remember him because I added him on waivers that year, and it was like the best.
Dion Lewis.
There it is.
Boom.
That's it.
Good stuff.
There it is.
That was a good one.
You stumped us. That's good. Good one for sure.
I was like, you know what it was? Is because I was going back and looking at trades, and Dion Lewis was a dude that I felt like, oh, I got a good deal on him, and it was part of a package where I traded Pat Mahomes in a 1-quarterback league.
Wow.
And I was like, I got back decent picks and a running back that just like really blew up. Like I'm going to be like, this is going to be good. And then Pat Mahomes became the second coming of football Jesus. And it was like, me. This was the worst. It was one of the worst deals ever. And luckily it was a 1 QB league. So it wasn't, absolutely an absolute killer, but it definitely set the franchise back.
Still hurt. This Dion Lewis did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nope.
All right, that wraps up the podcast. Let's go around the room real quick, gentlemen. Give me your Twitter handle and plug anything you're working on. We'll go to you first, Seth.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at FF the At Home Dad. You can follow me over on FF Face Off. We got a charity event coming up where we do NBA squares for the finals. It's just like Super Bowl squares, raising money for the Hayden Hurst Foundation. It's a real, great cause. So if anybody out there wants to get in on it, 60% goes back to the winners, 40% goes on to the Hayden Hurst Foundation. Last year, we were able to donate $400 and some change to the foundation, which is, great because it means people got to play, people got to win some monies, and then we still got to help out veterans and at-risk teens. So, great thing to be doing right now while everybody's enjoying NBA finals and, just a non-football thing to kind of shift things off.
Good stuff. Ryan?
Yeah, hit me up on that. I would love to support my second favorite Raven drafted in the first round of 2018. But no, find me here every Wednesday night. GoingFor2. Find me over at the Rookie Big Board, Dynasty Big Board podcast, and on Twitter, Fox534.
Good stuff. I want to plug a charity thing that I'm doing as well. So I've already opened up one of our GOAT leagues and filled it so quickly that I'm going to open up a second GOAT league. If you don't know what a GOAT league is, it's essentially an 18-team guillotine league with 6 divisions of 3 teams each. And each division of those 3 teams is a team. You're encouraged to collude. You trade back and forth. And then there's power-ups in the actual draft. So you can like swap picks and do all kinds of crazy stuff in the draft. So it makes the draft a lot of fun too. So we've already filled up one league.
Unless you were me last year, I got assaulted in it. Yeah. My first 3 picks were forced to be safeties.
Yes. Yeah.
In the first 3 rounds. I got assaulted by every single person used their powers against me. It was not fun. But really it was a lot of fun.
It really was a lot of fun the Go League last year. So yeah.
Were you one of the people who was picking on that?
What's that?
Were you one of the people picking on me in it last year?
No, we were very like, hey, let everybody else fight, and we're gonna save our stuff for when we're ready to use it. And we had a nice little run for a moment there, but I think our team ended up making it to like one of the last like 3 or 4 teams, I think, but I don't remember off the top of my head now. Last year seems so far away.
Yeah, so long ago.
Yeah.
All right, be on the lookout for that. I will be putting that on Twitter. You can find that there. And again, it is all for charity. For Seth, for Ryan, I'm Geoff, and we will see y'all next week.